we are. There. Oh no, they're here. We're not live yet. Just hang on. My lady. She'll be over in a minute. Put the teacups away. My lady, they're here. Was she here yet? I think she's on her way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Malfi from flight 8F1F5. Please make your way to luggage pick-up. Grazie signori.
You are welcome to your country, dear Antonio. You belong in France. You return a very full Frenchman in your habit. How do you like French culture?
Oh, I admire it. In seeking to reduce both state and people to a fixed order, their judicious king begins at home. Quits first his royal palace of flattering sycophants. And what makes this blessed government but the most provident council who dare freely inform him the corruption of the times. Though some of the court hold it presumption to instruct princes what they ought to do, it is a noble duty to inform them what they ought to foresee. Oh, here comes Bosler, the only court Gaul. Yet I observe his railing is not for simple love of piety. Indeed, he rails at those things which he wants, would be as lecherous, covetous or proud, bloody or envious of any man, if he had means to do so.
I have done you better service than to be slighted thus.
You enforce your merit too much.
I fell into the galleys in your service.
Would you could become honest?
With all your divinity, do but direct me the way to go. Are you gone? Some fellas, they say, are possessed with the devil, but this great fella were able to possess the greatest devil and make him worse.
He hath denied you some suit.
He and his brother are like plum trees that grow cooked over standing pools. They're rich and overladen with fruit, but, well, none but crows, pies and caterpillars feed on them. Who would rely upon these miserable dependencies in expectation to be advanced tomorrow? Exit.
I knew this fellow. 7 years in the galleys for a notorious murder. And 'twas thought the cardinal suborned it.
'Tis great pity he should be thus neglected. I have heard he's very valiant. This foul melancholy will poison all his goodness.
Presence begins to fill. Oh, you promised to make me the partakers of the natures of some of your great courtiers.
I shall. Here comes the great Calabrian Duke.
I shall shortly visit you at Milan, Lord Silvio.
Your grace shall arrive most welcome.
You are a good horseman, Antonio. You have excellent riders in France.
Your brother, the Lord Cardinal, and sister, Duchess.
Are the galleys come about?
They are, my lord. Now, sir, your promise. What's that cardinal? And his temper. They say he's a brave fellow.
Well, some such flashes superficially hang on him for form, but observe his inward character. He is a melancholy churchman. Where he is jealous of any man, he lays worse plots for him than ever was imposed on Hercules. He should have been Pope. But instead of coming to it by the primitive decency of the church, he did bestow bribes so largely and impudently as if he would have carried it away without heaven's knowledge. They that do flatter him say oracles hang at his lips, and verily I do believe them, for the devil speaks in them.
What's his brother?
A most perverse and turbulent nature. What appears in him mirth is merely outside. He speaks with others' tongues, hears men's suits with others' ears, will seem to sleep on the bench, only to entrap offenders in their answers, dooms men to death by information, rewards by hearsay. But for their sister, the right noble Duchess, you never fixed your eye on 3 fair medals cast in one figure of so different temper. For her discourse, it is so full of rapture, you'll only begin to be sorry when she doth end her speech, and wish in wonder she held it less vainglory to talk much than your penance to hear her. While she speaks, she throws upon a man so sweet a look as it were able to raise one to a galliard that lay in a dead palsy. but in that look there speaketh so divine a countenance that cuts off all lascivious and vain hope. Let all sweet ladies break their flattering glasses and dress themselves in her.
You must attend me in the galley some half-hour hence.
I shall.
Sister, I have a suit to you. A gentleman here, Daniel de Bosela, one that was in the galleys. Pray, let me entreat for him the provisorship on your horse.
Your knowledge of him commends him and prefers him.
Be sure you entertain that Boswell for your intelligence. I would not be seen in it. Therefore, many times I have slighted him when he'd caught our furtherance.
Antonio, the great master of her household, had been far fitter.
You are deceived in him. His nature is too honest as a business.
My brother here, the cardinal, could never abide you.
Never since he was in my debt.
You must give great men leave to take their times. Distrust doth cause us seldom be deceived.
Yet take heed, for to suspect a friend unworthy instructs him the next way to suspect you and prompts him to deceive you.
There's gold.
Never rained such showers as these without thunderbolts. I'm in the tail of them. Whose throat was to cut?
Your inclination to shed blood rides post before my occasion to use you. I give you that to live in the court here and observe the Duchess, to note all the particulars of her behavior, what suitors do solicit her for marriage, and whom she best affects. She's a young widow. I would not have her married again.
It seems you would create me one of your familiars.
Familiar? What's that?
Why, a very quaint, invisible devil in flesh. An intelligencer.
Such a kind of thriving thing I would wish thee. And ere long thou mayst arrive at a higher place by it.
Take your devils, which hell calls angels. These cursed gifts would make you a corrupter, me an impudent traitor. And should I take these, they take me to hell.
There is a place that I procured for you this morning. The provisorship of the horse. 'Tis yours.
Oh,
Is't not worth thanks?
Oh, that's to avoid ingratitude. For the good deed you have done me, I must do all the ill man can invent. Thus the devil candies all sin o'er, and whatever turns vile, that names He complimental.
Be yourself. Keep your old garb of melancholy. 'Twill express you envy those that stand above your reach, yet strive not to come near them. This will gain access to private lodgings where yourself may, like a politic dormouse.
As I have seen some feed in Lord's dish, half asleep, not seeming to listen to any talk, what's my place? The provisorship of the horse? Say then, my corruption grew out of horse dung. I am your creature. Exit Bosler.
We are to part from you, and your own discretion must now be your director.
You are a widow. You already know what man is, and therefore let not youth, high promotion, eloquence,
No, nor anything without the addition honour sway your high blood.
marry. They are most luxurious will wed twice.
Diamonds are of most value, they say, that have passed through most jewelers' hands.
Whores by that rule are precious.
Will you hear me? I'll never wed.
So most widows say.
This is terrible good counsel.
You may flatter yourself and take your own choice, privately be married into the eves of night.
Such weddings may more properly be said to be executed than celebrated.
Fare you well. Wisdom begins at the end. Remember it.
I think this speech routine you both was studied. It came so roundly off.
You are my sister. This was my father's poniard, you see. I'd be loath to see it look rusty, 'cause 'twas his. I would have you give her these chargeable rebels. A visor and a mask are whispering rooms that were never built for goodness. Farewell, lusty widow.
Shall this move me? If all my royal kindreds lay in my way unto this marriage, I'd make them my low footsteps. Oh, let old wives report, I winked and chose a husband. Cariola, to thy known secrecy I have given up more than my life, my fame.
Both shall be safe, for I'll conceal this secret from the world.
Is Antonio come?
He attends you.
Goodness, oh, leave me. Oh, place thyself behind the arras where thou mayst overhear us.
Oh.
I sent for you. Sit down, take pen and ink and write. After these triumphs and this large expense, it's fit. Like thrifty husbands, we inquire what's laid up for tomorrow.
So please, your beauteous excellence.
Beauteous. Indeed, I thank you. I look young for your sake. You have taken my cares upon you.
I'll fetch your grace the particulars of your revenue and the expense.
You are an upright treasurer, but you mistook. For when I said I meant to make inquiry what's laid up for tomorrow, I did mean what's laid up yonder for me. Where? In heaven. I am making my will as 'tis fit princes should in perfect memory. And I pray, sir, tell me, were not one better make it smiling, thus, than in deep groans and terrible ghastly looks?
Oh, much better.
If I had a husband now, this care were quit. But I intend to make you overseer. What good deed shall we remember first?
Begin with that first good deed began in the world after man's creation, the sacrament of marriage. I'd have you first provide for a good husband. Give him all.
All?
Yes, your excellent self.
In a winding sheet? That were a strange will.
To a stranger if there were no will in you to marry again.
What do you think of marriage?
I take it as those that deny purgatory. It contains locally either heaven or hell. There's no third place in it.
How do you effect it?
Say a man never marry, or have children, what takes that from him? Only the bare name of being a father, or the weak delight to see the little wanton ride a cock horse upon a painted stick, or hear him chatter like a taught starling.
Fie, what's all this? Oh, one of your eyes is bloodshot. Use my ring to it. They say it is very sovereign. 'Twas my wedding ring, and I did vow never to part with it, but to my second husband.
You have parted with it now?
Yes, to help your eyesight.
You have made me stark blind.
How?
There is a saucy and ambitious devil is dancing in this circle.
Remove him.
How?
There needs a small conjuration when your finger may do it. Thus.
Oh,
This godly roof of yours is too low built. I cannot stand upright in it, nor discourse without raise it higher. Raise yourself. Or, if you please, my hand to help you.
ambition, madam, is the great man's madness. Conceive not I am so stupid, but I aim to whereto your favours tend, but he's a fool that being a cold would thrust his hands in the fire to warm them.
Oh, the misery of us that are born great. We are forced to woo because none dare woo us. As a tyrant doubles with his words and fearfully equivocates, so we are forced to express our violent passions in riddles and in dreams, and leave the path of simple virtue, which was never made to seem the thing it is not. Go brag, you have left me heartless. Mine is in your bosom. I hope 'twill multiply love there. Oh, you do tremble. Make not your heart so dead a piece of flesh to fear more than to love me. So be confident. What distracts you? This is flesh and blood, sir. 'Tis not the figure cut in alabaster kneels at my husband's tomb. Awake, man! I do here cut off all vain ceremony, and do only appear to you a young widow that claims you for her husband, and like a widow, I use but half a blush in it.
Truth, speak for me. I will remain the constant sanctuary of your good name.
I thank you, gentle love, and because you shall not come to me in debt, being now my steward, here upon your lips I sign your quietest est.
But for your brothers?
Oh, do not think of them. All without discourse, this circumference is only to be pitied and not feared. Yet should they know it, time will easily scatter the tempest.
These words should be mine, and all the parts that you have spoke, if some part of it would not have savoured of flattery.
Be not amazed. This woman's of my counsel. I have heard lawyers say a contract in a chamber per verba de presenti is absolute marriage. Bless heaven this sacred guardian, which let violence never entwine. What can the church force more?
The fortune may not know an accident, either of joy or sorrow, to divide our fixed wishes.
And how can the church build faster? We are now man and wife, and 'tis the church that must echo this. They stand apart. I now am blind.
What's your conceit in this?
I would have you lead your fortune by the hand unto your marriage bed. We'll only lie and talk together and plot to appease my humorous kindred.
Whether the spirit of greatness or of woman reign most in her, I know not, but it shows a fearful madness. I owe her much of pity.
I observe that, Duchess. Is sick of days, she pukes, her stomach seethes, the fins in her eyelids look most teeming blue. She wanes the cheek and waxes fat the flank, and, contrary to our Italian fashion, wears a loose-bodied gown that's somewhat minced. I have a trick, may chance discover it, a pretty one. I have bought some apricots, the first our spring yields.
I'm so long since married. You amaze me.
Oh, let me seal your lips forever. Now, sir, in your contemplation, you are studying to become a great wise fellow.
Yes, sir. The opinion of wisdom is a foul tether that runs all over a man's body.
Because you would not seem to appear to the world puffed up with your preferment, you continue this out-of-fashion melancholy. Leave it, leave it.
Give me leave to be honest in my phrase, in any compliment whatsoever. Shall I confess myself to you? I look no higher than I can reach.
Well, you would look up to heaven, but I think the devil that rules in the air stands in your light.
Oh, sir, you are the lord of the ascendant, chief man with the Duchess.
Your aunt, Antonio. Do not I grow fat? Oh, I am exceeding short-winded. Bosila, I would have you, sir, provide for me a litter, such as one as the Duchess of Florence rode in.
The Duchess used one when she was great with child. I have a present for your grace.
For me, sir?
Apricots, madam.
Oh, sir, where are they? I have heard of none a year.
Good. Her colour rises.
Oh, indeed, I thank you. They are wondrous fair ones. What an unskilled fellow our gardener is. We shall have none this month.
Will your grace not pare them?
No. They taste of musks, methinks. No, indeed they do.
I know not. Yes, I wish your grace had pared them.
Why?
I forgot to tell you. The knave gardener, only to raise his profit by then the sooner, did ripen them in Allston.
Oh. Oh. You jest. You shall judge. Pray taste one.
Oh, indeed, madam, I do not love the fruit.
Oh, sir, you are loath to rob us of our dainties. 'Tis a delicate fruit. Oh, they say they are restorative.
'Tis a pretty art. This grafting.
'Tis so a bettering of nature.
How greedily she eats them.
I thank you, Bosila. They were right good ones. Oh, if they do not make me sick.
Oh, how now, madam?
Oh, this green fruit and my stomach are not friends. They swell me.
Nay, you are much swelled already.
Oh, I am in an extreme cold sweat. Lights to my chamber. Oh, good Antonio, I fear I am again.
Oh, my most trusty Daniel, we are lost. I fear she's fallen in labour and there's left no time for her remove.
Make use then of this forced occasion, give out that Bosila have poisoned her with these apricots. That will give us some colour for keeping her close.
So there's no question but the tetchiness and most voluptuous eating of the apricot are apparent sign of breeding now.
Shut up, Postman's presently, and call all the officers of the court.
I shall presently.
If that these apricots should be poisoned now, without my knowledge,
Gentlemen, we have lost much plate but this evening jewels to the value of 4,000 ducats are missing in the Duchess's cabinet. 'Tis the Duchess's pleasure each officer be locked into his chamber till the sun rising. She is very sick. She entreats you take not the ill by it. The innocent shall be the more approved by it.
exit all.
How fares it with the Duchess?
Oh, she's exposed to the worst of pain, torture, and fear. Oh, how I do play the fool with mine own danger. You are this night, dear friend, post to Rome. My life lies in your service.
Do not doubt me.
Oh, 'tis far from me, and yet fear presents me somewhat that looks like danger.
Believe it, it is but the shadow of your fear, no more. Sir, fare you well. I wish you all the joys of a blessed father. And for my sake, lay this unto your breast. Old friends, like old swords, still are trusted best. Oh, you are a happy father of a son. Your wife commends in
Oh, bless you, Godfrey! Oh, for heaven's sake, send out my love. I'll presently go set a figure for his nativity.
Sure, I did hear a woman shriek. List. And the sound came, if I received it right, from the Duchess's lodging. List again. It may be 'twas the melancholy bird, best friend of silence and of solitariness, the owl that screamed so. Ha! Antonio.
Oh, who's that? What? Who art thou? Speak.
I am Ursula, your friend.
Oh, heard you not a noise even now?
Not I. Did you?
I did, or else I dreamed. It may be 'twas but the rising of the wind.
Very likely. Methinks 'tis very cold, and you sweat.
Oh,
You look wildly.
I have been setting a figure for the Duchess's jewels. You gave the Duchess apricots today. Pray heaven they were not poisoned. There were jewels stolen too. In my conceit, none are to be suspected more than yourself.
You are a false steward.
My nose bleeds. One that was superstitious would count that ominous when it comes merely by chance. 2 letters that are brought here for my name are drowned in blood. Mere accident. For you, sir, I'll take order. In the morn you shall be safe. 'Tis that must colour her lying in. Sir, this door you pass not. I do not hold it fit you come near the Duchess's lodging till you have quit yourself. The great are like the base. Nay, they are the same when they seek shameful ways to avoid shame.
Antonio, hereabout he dropped the paper. Oh, here it is. What's here? Charles' nativity calculated. The Duchess was delivered of a son between the hours 12 and 1 in the night, Anno Domini 1504. That is this year. Taken according to the meridian of Malfi. That's the Duchess. Happy discovery. The lord of the first house being combust in the ascendant signifies short life, and Mars being in a human sign, joined to the tail of the dragon in the 8th house, does threaten a violent death. Why now, 'tis most apparent this precise fellow is the Duchess board. This was a thrifty way. Though I lust do mask in ne'er so strange disguise, she's oft found witty, but is never wise. Exit Bosler.
Sit. Thou art my best of wishes. Prithee, tell me what trick didst thou invent to come to Rome without thy husband?
Why, my lord, I told him I came to visit an old anchorite here for devotion.
Thou art a witty false one. I mean to him.
You have prevailed with me beyond my strongest thoughts. I would not now find you inconstant.
Do not put thyself to such a voluntary torture, which proceeds out of your own guilt. You fear my constancy, because you have approved these giddy and wild turns in yourself. We had need to go borrow that fantastic glass invented by Galileo the Florentine to view another spacious world in the moon, and look to find a constant woman there. Oh, why do you weep? Are tears your justification? The self-same tears were falling to your husband's bosom, lady, with a loud protestation that you love him above the world. Come, I will love you wisely. That's jealousy, since I am very certain you cannot make me cuckold.
I'll go to my husband.
You may thank me, lady. I have taken you off your melancholy perch, bore you upon my fist, and showed you game, and let you fly at it.
You told me of a piteous wound in the heart and a sick liver when you wooed me first, and spoke like one in physic.
Madam, a gentleman that's come post from Malfi desires to say yo.
Let him enter. I will withdraw.
Lord.
I was bold to come and see you.
Sir, you're welcome.
I brought you no commendation from your husband, for I know none by him. Lady, I know not whether you want some money, but I have brought you. Oh, some.
From my husband?
No, from mine own allowance.
Your husband's come. After leaving a letter to the Duke of Cabrera that to my thinking had put him out of his wits.
Sir, you here? Pray let me know your business and your suit as briefly as can be.
Well, I would wish you, at such time as you are non-resident with your husband, my mistress.
Sir, I'll go ask my husband if I shall, and I'll return your answer.
Very fine. Is this her wit or honesty that speaks thus? I heard him say that the Duke was highly moved with a letter sent from Malfi. I do fear Antonio is betrayed. How fearfully shows his ambition now. Ah, unfortunate fortune! They pass through whirlpools and deep woes, do shun who the event way, ere the action's done.
I have this night digged up a mandrake, and I am grown mad with it. Read there, a sister damned. She's loose in the hills, grown no notorious strumpet.
Speak lower.
Lower. She hath had most cunning boards to serve her turn, and more secure conveyances for last than towns of garrison fit for service.
Is it possible? Can this be certain?
Rhubarb! Oh, the rhubarb to purge this colour! Here's the cursed day to haunt my memory, and here shall stick till of her bleeding heart I make a sponge to wipe it out.
Why do you make yourself so wild a tempest?
Oh, would I could be one, that I might toss her Paris about her ears.
Shall our blood, the royal blood of Aragon and Castile, be thus attainted?
Apply desperate physic. We must not now use balsamum, but fire. The smart cupping glass, for that's the mean to purge infected blood, such blood as hers. There is a kind of pity in mine eye. I'll give it to my handkerchief, and now 'tis here I'll bequeath this to her bastard.
What to do?
Why? To make soft lint for his mother's wounds, when I have hewed her to pieces. to me somewhat quickly, or my imagination will carry me to see her in the shameful act of sin. Happily with some strong-thighed bargeman, or one of the woodyard that can quote the sledge, or toss the bar, or else some lucky squire that carries coals up to her privy lodgings.
You fly beyond your reason.
Go to, mistress! 'Tis not your whore's milk that shall quench my wildfire, but your whore's blood.
How highly shows this rage which carries you as men conveyed by witches through the air on violent whirlwinds.
Have not you my palsy?
Yes, but I can be angry without this rupture. There is not in nature a thing that makes man so deformed, so beastly, and of intemperate anger. Come, put yourself in tune.
So, I will only study to seem the thing I am not. I could kill her now, in you or in myself, for I do think it is some sin in us. Heaven doth revenge by her.
You stark mad.
Oh, I would have their bodies burnt in a coal pit with the ventage stopped, that their cursed smoke might not ascend to heaven, or dip the sheets they lie in pitch and sulphur, wrap them in it, and then light it like a match, or else to boil their bastard to a cullis and give it to his lecherous father to renew the sin of his back.
I'll leave you.
Nay, nay, I have done. I am confident, but I had been damned in hell and should have heard of this. It would have put me into a cold sweat. I'll go to sleep till I know who leaps my sister. I'll not stir.
Our noble friend, my most beloved Leo. Oh, you have been a stranger long at court. Came you along with the Lord Ferdinand?
I did, sir. And how fares your noble Duchess?
Oh, right, fortunately well. Since you last saw her, she has had 2 children more, a son and a
Pray, sir. Pray, sir, tell me. Have not this news arrived yet to the ear of the Lord Cardinal?
I fear it hath. The Lord Ferdinand, that's newly come to court, doth bear himself right dangerously.
What say the common people?
The common rabble do directly say she is a strumpet.
And what do the greybeards, which would be politic?
They do observe I grow to infinite purchase, the left-hand way. For other obligation of love or marriage between us, they never speak of or dream of.
I'll instantly to bed, for I am weary. I am to bespeak a husband for you.
For me, sir? Pray, who is it?
The great Count Malateste.
Oh, fie upon him. Account. When I choose a husband, I will marry for your honour. But, sir, I am to have a private conference with you about a scandalous report is spread touching mine honour.
Let me be ever deaf to it. A pestilent air which princes' palaces are seldom purged of. Yet, say that it were true, my fixed love would strongly excuse, accentuate, nay, deny faults were they apparent in you. Go, be safe in your own innocency.
Oh, blessed comfort, this deadly air is purged.
Now, Bosma, how thrives our intelligence?
'Tis rumoured she hath had 3 bastards, but by whom we may go read stars. I do suspect there have been some sorcery used on the Duchess.
Sorcery? Ha! To what purpose?
To make her dote on some deserter's fella she shames to acknowledge.
Away! These are mere gulleries, horrid things invented by some cheating mountebanks to abuse us? Do you think that herbs or charms can force the will? The witchcraft lies in her rank blood. This night, I will force confession from her. You told me you had got, within these 2 days, a false key into her bedchamber.
I have. What do you intend to do?
Can you guess?
Oh,
Do not ask then.
excellent.
Bring me the casket hither and the glass.
Glass. You get no lodging here tonight, my lord.
Oh, indeed, I must persuade one.
Very good. I hope in time 'twill grow into a custom that noblemen shall come with cap and need to purchase a night's lodging of their wives.
I must lie here.
Must, you are a lord of misrule.
Indeed, my rule is only in the night. When wilt thou marry, Cariola?
Never, my lord.
Oh, fly upon this single life. Now I look at both of your faces so well formed. It puts me in mind of a question I would ask. I do wonder why hard-favoured ladies, for the most part, keep worse-favoured waiting women and cannot endure fair ones.
That's soon answered. Did you ever in your life know an ill painter desire to have his dwelling next door to the shop of an excellent picture maker to disgrace his face making and undo him? Oh, I prithee, when were we so merry? Oh, my hair tangles. Oh.
The mirror. I pray thee, Cariola, let's sneak out of the room and let her talk to herself. I love to see her angry.
Doth not the colour of my hair begin to change? Oh. When I wax grey, I shall have all the court powder their hair with arrows to be like me. We shall one day have my brothers take you napping. Methinks his presence, being now in court, should make you keep your own bed, but you'll say love mixed with fear is sweetest. I'll assure you, you shall get no more children till my brothers consent to be your gossips. Have you lost your tongue?
Virtue, where art thou hid? What hideous thing is it that doth eclipse thee?
Praise
Or is it true thou art but a bare name and no essential thing?
Sir,
Do not speak!
I pray, sir, hear me. I am married, happily, not to your liking, but for that, alas, your shears do come untimely now to clip the bird's wings that's already flown. Will you see my husband?
Yes, if I could change eyes with a basilisk. Where art thou that hast enjoyed my sister? For I am sure thou hearest me. For thine own sake, let me not know thee. I came here prepared to work thy discovery, yet am now persuaded it would beget such violent effects as would damn us both. Enjoy thy lust still, and a wretched life on that condition. And for thee, vile woman, if thou do wish thy lecher may grow old in thy embracements, let not the sun shine on him till he is dead. If thou do love him, cut out thine own tongue, lest it betray him.
Why might not I marry? I have not gone about in this to create any new world or custom.
Thou art undone. and thou hast taken that massy sheet of lead that hides thy husband's bones, and folded it about my heart.
You are in this too much. Too strict. And were you not my princely brother, I would say too willful. My reputation is safe. Why should only I, of all the other princes in the world, be cased up like a holy relic? I have youth and a little beauty.
So have some virgins that are witches. I will never see thee more.
You saw this apparition.
Yes, we are betrayed. How came he hither?
He left this with me.
And it seems did wish you would use it on yourself.
His actions seemed to intend so much.
This hath a handle to it as well as a point. Turn it towards him. How now, who knocks?
Oh, it is Boswell.
Away! Oh, misery, you must instantly part hence. I have fashioned it already.
Oh.
The Duke, your brother, is taken up in a whirlwind, as took horse and rid post to Rome. He told me as he mounted into the saddle, you were undone.
Indeed, I am very near it. Antonio, the master of our household, hath dealt so falsely with me in his accounts. My brother stood engaged with me for money, and Antonio lets the bonds be forfeit.
Strange. This is coming.
Call up our officers.
I shall. Exit, Boswell. Exit. Exit.
The place that you must fly to is Ancona. Hire a house there. I'll send after you my treasure and my jewels. I must now accuse you of such a feigned crime as Tasso calls a noble lie. Oh, hark, they are coming!
Will your grace hear me?
I have got well by you. You have yielded me 1,000,000 of loss. Gentlemen, I would have this man be an example to you all. So shall you hold my favour. I pray let him. For he has done that, alas, you would not think of. And because I intend to be rid of him, I mean not to publish it.
I am strongly armed to brook my overthrow. The necessity of my malevolent star procures this, not her humour. Oh, the inconstant and rotten ground of service.
We do confiscate, to the satisfying of your accounts, all that you have.
I am all yours, and 'tis fit all mine should be so. You may see, gentlemen, what it is to serve a prince with body and soul.
Alas, poor gentleman.
Oh, he hath amply filled his coffers.
Sure. He was too honest. He was an excellent courtier and most faithful.
But he was basely descended.
Will you make yourself a mercenary herald, rather to examine men's pedigrees and virtues? Fare thee well, Antonio. Since the malice of the world would needs down with thee, it cannot be said that any ill happened unto thee, considering thy fall was accompanied by virtue.
You render me excellent music. This good one that you speak of is my husband.
Do I not dream? Can this ambiguous age have so much goodness in it to prefer work without these shadows of wealth and painted honours?
I have had 3 children by him.
Fortunate lady, for you have made your private nuptial bed the humble and fair seminary of peace.
As I taste comfort in this friendly speech, so I would find concealment.
Oh, the secret of my prince, which I will wear on the inside of my heart.
You shall take charge of all my coin and jewels and follow him, for he retires himself to Ancona, whither within few days I mean to follow thee.
I would wish your grace to feign a pilgrimage to Our Lady of Loretto, scarce 7 leagues from fair Ancona, so you may depart your country with more honour, and your flight will seem a princely progress, retaining your usual train about you.
Sir, your direction shall lead me by the hand.
I do not like this jesting with religion, this feigned pilgrimage.
Thou art a superstitious fool. Prepare us instantly for our departure. Past sorrows, let us moderately lament them. For those to come, seek wisely to prevent them.
What rest, but I reveal all to my lord. Oh, this base quality of intelligencer. Now, for this act, I am certain to be raised, and men that paint weeds to the life are praised. Oh, don't exit, Priscilla.
Does she make religion her riding hoods to keep her from the sun and the tempest?
That damns her. Methinks her fault and beauty, blended together, show like leprosy. The whiter, the fouler. I make it a question whether her beggarly brats were ever christened.
I will instantly solicit the state of Ancona to have them banished.
Antonio, a slave that only smelled of ink and counters, and never in his life looked like a gentleman but in the audit time. Bosser, go presently. Draw me out 150 of our horse and meet me at the footbridge.
Banished, Ancona!
Yes, you see what power lightens in great men's breaths.
I had a very strange dream tonight.
What was it?
Methought I wore my coronet of state, and on a sudden all the diamonds were changed to pearls.
My interpretation is you'll weep shortly. To me, the pearls do signify your tears.
The birds that live in the field on the wild benefit of nature live happier than we. For they may choose their mates and carol their sweet pleasures to the spring.
You are happily overton.
From my brother,
Yes, from Lord Ferdinand, your brother, all love and safety.
send Antonio to me. I want his head in a business. A politic equivocation. He doth not want your counsel, but your head. That is, he cannot sleep till ye be dead. I stand engaged for your husband for several debts at Naples. Let not that trouble him. I had rather have his heart than his money. I believe so, too.
What do you believe?
That he so much distrusts my husband's love that he will by no means believe his heart is with him until he sees it. The devil is not cunning enough to circumvent us in riddles.
And what from you?
Thus tell him I will not come.
I suspect some ambush. Therefore, by all my love, I do conjure you to take your eldest son and fly towards Milan. Let us not venture all this poor remainder in one unlucky bottom.
You counsel safely. Best of my life, farewell.
I know not which is best, to see you dead or part with you. In the eternal church, sir, I hope I do hope we shall not part thus.
Be of comfort. Make patience a noble fortitude. Think not how unkindly we are used. Farewell, Cariola. If I do never see you more, be a good mother to your little ones and save them from the tiger.
Let me look upon you once more, for that speech came from a dying father. Now your kiss is colder than that I have seen a holy anchorite give to a dead man's skull.
My heart is turned to a heavy lump of lead. There you are.
Oh, they are very welcome. I am your adventure, am I not?
You are. You must see your husband no more.
Come to what prison?
To none.
Whither then?
To your palace.
I have heard that Karen's boat serves to convey all o'er the dismal lake, but brings none back again.
Your brothers mean you safety and pity.
Pity! With such pity, men preserve alive pheasants and quails, and they are not fat enough to be eaten. But come whither you please. I am armed against misery, bent to all sways of the oppressor's will. There's no deep valley, but near some great hill.
How doth our sister Duchess bear herself in her imprisonment?
Nobly, I'll describe her. She's sad as one long used to it, and she seems rather to welcome the end of misery than to shun it. A behaviour so noble as gives her majesty to adversity. You may discern the shape of loveliness more perfect in her tears than in her smiles. She will muse 4 hours together, and her silence, methinks, expresseth more than if she spake.
Her melancholy seems to be fortified with a strange disdain. Curse upon her! I will no longer study in the book of another's heart. Inform her what I told you.
All comfort to your grace. Your elder brother, Lord Ferdinand, is come to visit you and sends you word, 'cause once he rashly made a solemn vow never to see you more. He comes in the night and prays you gently, neither torch nor taper shine in your chamber. He will kiss your hand and reconcile himself, but for his vow he dares not see you. The lights are off now.
Where are you?
Here, sir.
This darkness suits you well. Where are your cubs?
Whom?
Call them your children. For though our national law distinguish bastards from true legitimate issue, compassionate nature makes them all equal.
Do you visit me for this? You violate a sacrament of the church. Shall make you howl in hell.
No more. I come to seal my peace with you. Here's a hand, which you have vowed much love. The ring upon it you gave.
I affectionately kiss it. You are very cold. I fear you are not well after your travel. Ha! Lights! What witchcraft doth he practice that he hath left a dead man's hand here?
Look you. Vatican. He just prevented you this sad spectacle that now you know directly they are dead.
There is not between heaven and earth one wish I stay for after this.
Come, you must live.
This is the greatest torture souls feel in hell. In hell, they must live and cannot die.
Oh, fie, despair. Remember, you're a Christian.
The church enjoins fasting. I'll starve myself to death.
Oh, leave this vain sorrow. Things being at the worst begin to mend.
Oh, I account this world a tedious theatre, for I do play a part in it against my will.
Oh, come, be of comfort. I will save your life.
Indeed, I have not the leisure to tend to so small a business.
Now, by my life, I pity you.
Thou art a fool, then, to waste thy pity on a thing so wretched as cannot pity itself. I'll go pray.
Oh, fie.
No. I'll go curse.
Oh, fie.
Plagues that make lanes through largest families, consume them.
Fie, lady.
Let them, like tyrants, never be remembered but for the ill they have done. Let all the zealous prayers of mortified churchmen forget them. Let heaven a little while cease crowning martyrs to punish them. Go, howl them this and say, I long to bleed. It is some mercy when men kill with speed.
Excellent! As I would wish, she's plagued in these presentations. But wax.
Why did you do this?
To bring her to despair.
Faint end here, and go no further in your cruelty. Send her a penitential garment to put on, next to her delicate skin, and furnish her with beads and prayer books.
Damn her! That body of hers, while that my blood ran pure, it was more worth than that which thou wouldst comfort, called a soul. Your work is almost ended.
Must I see her again?
You must.
What hideous noise is that?
'Tis the wild consort of madmen, lady, which your tyrant brother hath placed about your lodging. This tyranny, I think, was never practised till this hour.
Indeed, I thank him. Nothing but noise and folly can keep me in my right wits. Well, sit down. Discourse to me some dismal tragedy.
Oh, which will increase your melancholy.
Oh, thou art deceived. To hear a greater grief would lessen mine. This is a prison.
Yes, but you shall live to shake this durance off.
Thou art a fool. The robin redbreast and the nightingale never live long in cages. Dost thou think we shall know one another in the other world?
Yes, out of question.
I'll tell thee a miracle. I am not mad yet to my cause of sorrow. Who do I look like now?
Like to your picture in the gallery? A deal of life in show, but none in practice.
I'm in disguise. I am come to make thy tomb.
Thou speakest as if I lay upon my deathbed, gasping for breath. Does thou perceive me sick?
Yup. And more dangerously so, since thy sickness is insensible.
Dost know me?
Yup.
Who am I?
Thou art a box of worm seed, at best.
Am I not thy Duchess?
Thou art some great woman, sure, for right begins to sit on thy forehead, clad in grey hairs, 20 years sooner than on a merry milkmaid's.
I am Duchess of Malfi still.
That makes thy sleep so broken.
Thou art very plain.
My trade is to flatter the dead, not the living. I'm a tomb maker.
And thou comest to make my tomb?
Yep.
Let me be a little merry. Of what stuff wilt thou make it?
Oh nay, resolve me first of what fashion.
Why? Do we grow fantastical in our deathbed? Do we affect fashion in the grave?
Oh, most ambitiously. Here is a present from your princely brothers.
Let me see it. I have so much obedience in my blood, I wish it in their veins to do them good.
Oh, my sweet lady.
Peace. It affrights not me.
I'm the common bellman that usually is sent to condemn persons that night before they suffer.
Even now thou saidest thou wast a tomb maker.
'Twas to bring you by degrees to mortification.
Farewell, Cariola. In my last will I have not much to give. I pray thee, look, thou givest my little boy some syrup for his cold, and let the girl say her prayers as she sleeps.
Does not death frighten you?
Who would be afraid on't, knowing to meet such excellent company in the other world?
Yeah, methinks the manner of your death should much afflict you. This cord should terrify you.
Not a whit. What would it pleasure me to have my throat cut with diamonds, or to be smothered with cassia, or to be shot to death with pearls? Anyway, for heaven's sake, so I were out of your whispering. Tell my brothers that I perceive death now I am well awake. Best gift is they can give, or I can take. Pull, and pull strongly, for your able strength must pull down heaven upon me. Come, violent death, serve for Mandragoria to make me sleep. Go tell my brothers when I am laid out, they then may feed in quiet.
Oh, you are damned perpetually for this.
Yes.
My turn is next. It's not so ordered.
Yep. And I'm glad you are so prepared for it.
You are deceived, sir. I am not prepared for it. I will not die. I must not. I am contracted to a young gentleman. Or but let me speak with the Duke. I'll discover treason to his person.
Delays.
If you kill me now, I'm damned. I have not been in confession this last 2 years.
When?
I'm quick with child.
Why then, your credit's saved.
Is she dead?
She's what you would have her. Fix your eye here.
Constantly.
Do you not weep? Other sins only speak. Murder shrieks out.
Cover her face. Mine eyes dazzle. She died young. She and I were twins. And should I die this instant, I had lived her time to a minute. Let me see her face again. Why didst thou not pity her? What an excellent, honest man mightest thou have been if thou hadst borne her to some sanctuary. I bade thee, when I was distracted of my wits, go kill my dearest friend, and thou hast done it. For let me but examine well the cause. What was the meanness of her match to me? Only I must confess, I had a hope, had she continued widow, to have gained an infinite mass of treasure by her death. For thee, as we observe in tragedies, that a good actor many times is cursed for playing a villain's part, I hate thee for it.
Let me quicken your memory, for I perceive you are failing into ingratitude. I challenge the reward due for my service.
I'll tell thee what I'll give thee. I'll give thee a pardon for this murder. 'Tis the largest bounty I can study to do thee. By what authority didst thou execute this bloody sentence?
By yours?
Mine! Was I her judge? Did any ceremonial form of law doom her to not being? Where shalt thou find this judgment registered, unless in hell? See, like a bloody fool, thou hast forfeited thy life, and thou shalt die for it.
You, not I, should quake for it. Your brother and yourself are worthy men. You may be brothers, but treason, like the plague, doth take much in blood. I stand like one that long hath taken the sweet and golden dream. I am angry with myself now that I wake.
I'll go hunt the deer by owl light. 'Tis a deed of darkness.
Very much distracted. Oh, she stirs. His life returned. Fair soul from darkness, and led mine out of this sensible hell. She's warm. She breathes still.
Antonio.
Yes, madam. He is living. The dead bodies you serve were just feigned statues.
Mercy.
Oh, she's gone again. There the cords of life broke. This is mainly manly sorrow. These tears, I'm very certain, never grew in my mother's milk. That cruel tyrant shall not deny me.
Prince Ferdinand's come out of Milan, sick, they say, out of an apoplexy. But some say 'tis a frenzy. I am going to visit him. What course do you mean to take?
This night I mean to venture all my fortune, which is no more than a poor lingering life, to the cardinal's worst of malice.
I'll accept you in all danger, and however my life keeps rank with yours. But he's instantly to take the air here, in the gallery.
Prithee, what's this
A
disease?
very pestilent disease, my lady. They call lycanthropia.
What's that?
Ah, well, it is.
Oh, yeah.
In those that are possessed with it, there overflows such melancholy humour, they imagine themselves to be transformed into wolves. Steal forth in churchyards in the dead of night and dig dead bodies up. And 2 nights since, one met the Duke about midnight in a lane behind St. Mark's Church with the leg of a man upon his shoulder, and he howled fearfully. Said he was a wolf, only the difference was a wolf's skin was hairy on the outside, his on the inside. Straight, I was sent for, and having ministered to him, found his grace very well recovered.
Oh, head on.
Yet not without some fear of a relapse. Stand aside. Here he comes.
Leave me.
Why doth your lordship love this solitariness?
Eagles commonly fly alone. Oh, look! What's that follows me? Oh,
That's your shadow.
stay it! Let it not haunt me!
Impossible if you move and the sun shines.
I will throttle it.
Rise, my good boy.
I am studying the art of patience.
It's a noble virtue.
To drive 6 snails before me from this town to Moscow.
Force him up.
Use me well. You were best what I have done. I have done nothing. I confess nothing.
Now, let me come to him. Are you mad? My lord, are you out of your princely wits?
What's he?
You doctor.
Hide him from me. Physicians are like kings. They brook no contradiction. Oh, look!
Knows your grace what accident hath brought unto this prince this strange distraction?
I must feign somewhat. You've heard it rumoured for these many years, none of our family dies. But there is seen the shape of an old woman, which is given by tradition to us to have been murdered by her nephews for her riches. Such a figure, one night, as the prince sat up late at his book, appeared to him. When crying out for help, the gentleman in his chamber found his grace, all in a cold sweat, altered much in the face and language.
Believe me, grace, wishing to the sick prince, our noble lord, all health of mind and body.
This fellow must not know by any means how the intelligence of our Duchess is dead. Now, sir, how fares our sister? Why do you look so wildly? Oh, the fortune of your master here, the prince, dejects you, but be of happy comfort. If you'll do but one thing for me, I'd make you what you would be. 'Tis thus. Antonio lurks here in Milan. Inquire him out and kill him.
And by what means shall I find him out?
There is a gentleman called Delio that I've long approved his loyal friend. Set eye upon that fellow. There are 1,000 ways a man might find to trace him.
This fellow doth breed basilics in his eyes. He's nothing else but murder. Yet he seems not to have notice of the Duchess's death.
Now, sir, now, sir, I will make you confess your treachery.
Treachery?
Yeah. confess to me, which of our women 'twas you who hired to put love powder into my drink when I was at Malfi? I should have fallen in love with such a face else.
Sure, your pistols holding nothing but perfumes. Excellent lady. You have a pretty way on to discover your longing. Come. I'll disarm you and arm you thus. Oh.
Oh, now you'll say I'm wanton. This nice modesty in ladies is but a troublesome familiar that haunts them.
You are very fair.
Nay, if you lay beauty to my charge, I must plead unguilty.
I have it. I will work upon this creature. Let us grow most amorously familiar. If the great cardinal now should see me thus, would he not count me a villain?
Oh no, he might count me a wanton, not lay a scruple of offence on you. For if I see and steal a diamond, the fault is not in the stone but in me, the thief. Bid me do somewhat for you presently to express I love you.
I will. And if you love me, fail not to effect it. The cardinal has grown wonderfully melancholy. Demand the cause, lest him not put you off with feigned excuse. Discover the main ground on tomorrow. I'll expect the intelligence.
Tomorrow? Oh, get you into my cabinet, you shall have it with you, do not delay me.
Beyond my lingering consumption, I am weary of her. By any means to be quit off.
How now, my lord, what ails you?
Nothing.
Oh, you are much altered. Come, what's the matter?
I may not tell you.
Are you so far in love with sorrow you cannot part with part of it?
Very well. Why, imagine I have committed some secret deed which I desire the world may never hear of.
Therefore, may not I know it? You have concealed from me as great a sin as adultery. So never was occasion for perfect trial of my consistency.
You'll repent it hurries thee to ruin. I'll not tell thee. Be well advised and think what danger it is to receive a prince's secret.
Oh, now you dally with me.
No more. Thou shalt know it. By my appointment, the great Duchess of Malfi and 2 of her young children, 4 nights since, were strangled.
Oh, heavens, sir, what have you done?
How now? How settles this?
Oh, you have undone yourself, sir. It lies not in me to conceal it.
Come, I'll swear you to it upon this book. Kiss it. Now you shall never utter it. Thy curiosity hath undone thee. Thou art poisoned with that book, because I knew thou could not keep thy counsel.
Oh, God. I forgive you. This equal piece of justice you have done, for I betrayed your counsel to that fellow. You overheard it. That was the cause. I said it lay not in me to conceal it.
Where's thou come from?
Oh, that I might find a great man like yourself, not out of his wits as the Lord Ferdinand, to remember my service.
Who placed thee here?
Her lust, as she intended.
Very well. Now you know me for your fellow murderer. I have honours in store for thee. Thou wilt kill Antonio.
Yes.
Come to me after midnight. Help to remove that body to her own lodging. I'll give out she died of the plague.
Oh, poor Antonio. I'll seek thee out, and all my care shall be to put thee in safety from the reach of those most cruel biters, it may be I'll join with thee in a most just revenge. Still, methinks the Duchess haunts me. There, 'tis nothing but my melancholy. Oh, penitence, let me truly taste thy cup that throws men down, only to raise them up. Excellent.
Yond, at the cardinal's window, and to yon side of the river lies a walled piece of a cloister, which, in my opinion, gives the best echo that you ever heard. So hollow and so dismal, and withal so plain in the distinction of our words, that many have supposed it is a spirit that answers.
I do love these ancient ruins. We never tread upon them, but we set our foot upon some bird history. But all things have their end. Churches and cities which have diseases like men must have like death that we have.
Like death that we have.
Ah, now the echo hath caught you.
It groaned, methought, and gave a very deadly accent.
I told you it was a pretty one. You may make it a musician, or a thing of sorrow.
Thing of sorrow.
It is very like my wife's voice.
My wife's voice.
I would not have you go to the cardinal's tonight. Take time for it. Be mindful of your safety.
Be mindful of thy safety.
Necessity compels me. Make scrutiny throughout the passes of your own life. You'll find it impossible to fly your fate.
Hark! The dead stones seem to have pity on you and give you good counsel.
Echo, I will not talk with thee. Thou art a dead thing. My Duchess is asleep now, and her little ones, I hope sweetly. Oh, heaven, shall I never see her more?
Never see her.
I marked not one repetition of the echo but that, and on a sudden, clear light presented me a face folded in sorrow.
Your fancy, merely.
Come, I'll be out of this ague. For to live thus is not indeed to live, it is a mockery, an abuse of life.
Well, your own virtue saves you. I'll second you. Though in our miseries fortune hath a part, yet in our noble sufferings she hath none. Contempt of pain, that may we call our own.
You shall not watch tonight by the sick prince. His grace is very well recovered. I pray, all to bed. And though you hear him in his violent fit, do not rise, I entreat you.
I shall not.
Nay, I must have your promise, upon your honour. It may be to make trial of your promise. When he's asleep, myself will rise and feign some of his mad tricks, and cry out for help, and feign myself in danger.
If your throat were cutting, I'd not come at you. Now I have protested against it.
Why, I thank you. The reason I would not suffer him about my brother is because at midnight I may with better privacy convey Julia's body to her own lodging. Oh, my conscience. I would pray now, but the devil takes away my heart, having any confidence in prayer. About this hour, I appointed Bosler to fetch the body. When he has served my turn, he dives.
Strangling. Oh, the very quiet death.
My death is plotted, is the consequence of murder. Full right, my sword.
Oh! Oh, I'm gone! Oh!
What art thou?
A most wretched thing.
Antonio! The man I should have saved above mine own life. Oh, good Antonio, I'll whisper one thing in thy dying ear, shall make thy heart break quickly. Thy fair Duchess and two sweet children
The very names kindle a little life in me.
are murdered.
Oh, some men have wished to die at the hearing of sad tidings. I would not now wish my wounds health, for I have no use to put my life to. Let my son fly the court of princes.
Break heart.
I am puzzled in a question about hell. How tedious is a guilty conscience? When I look into the fish ponds in my garden, methinks I see a thing armed with a rake that seems to strike at me.
Thus it lightens into action. I am come to kill thee.
Help! Oh God!
They are out of thy howling.
Hold, hold. I will pay my revenues with thee.
Thy prayers and proffers are both unreasonable.
Help! We are betrayed!
Listen,
My duty of the Saviour!
fie upon his counterfeiting. He told me thus beforehand. Believe it, that the accent of his voice sounds not in jest. Hold down with him.
What causest thou to pursue my life?
When thou killedst thy sister, thou tookest from justice her most equal balance, and left her naught but her sword. Now it seems thy greatness was only outward, for thou fallest faster of thyself than calamity can drive thee. I'll not waste time longer.
The alarm! Give me a fresh horse!
Help me! I'm your brother!
The devil! My brother fight upon the adverse party? There flies your ransom!
Oh, justice! I suffer now from a form of pain. Sorrows have the eldest child of sin.
Now my revenge is perfect. Sink, thou main cause of my undoing. This last part of my life hath done me best service. Die! Die!
Oh, sad disaster! How comes this?
Oh, revenge of the Duchess of Malfi murdered by the Aragonian brethren, for Antonio slain by his hand, for lustful Julia poisoned by this man, and lastly for myself, that was an actor in the main of all, much against mine own good nature, yet in the end neglected. How now, my lord?
Look to my brother.
How fatally it seems he did withstand his own rescue. The wretched thing of blood. How came Antonio by his death?
Such a mistake as I have often seen in a play.
Oh, no, Antonio. As I came to the palace, told me of Antonio's being here and showed me a pretty gentleman, his son and heir.
Oh, what say you, Antonio?
I heard so, and was armed for it ere I came. These wretched eminent things leave no more fame behind them than should one fall in a frost to leave his pricked in snow. Soon as the sun shines, it ever melts both form and matter. I have ever thought nature doth nothing so great for great men as when she's pleased to make them lords of truth. Integrity of life is fame's best friend. which nobly, beyond death, shall crown the end.
Oh!
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for coming to our live stream of the Duchess of Malfi by John Webster. We threw this together in about an afternoon. We had some rehearsals 6 or 7 months ago, and then one of our actors, unfortunately, has become very ill with long COVID. We wish her very, very well. And I'm really sad not to have her today, but Verena has stepped in marvellously today with about 2.5 hours rehearsal, rather less, while Steph and I were sort of shoving at computers and live stream equipment. So massive thanks to her. We are raising money for Second Helpings in Stamford, who are a company that do you have some notes about what Second Helpings do?
I do.
We're terribly prepared.
We're very prepared. They were a Stamford-based charity established in 2015. They aim to reduce food waste by using food gifted by local sources that would otherwise go to landfill. Both their cafe and shop are run by volunteers on a sort of pay-as-you-feel basis, serving the needs of local people from all walks of life, regardless of their ability to pay. We have a GoFundMe that is linked in the description of this video and is also on our Facebook and will be on our other social medias when I get around to putting it on there today. So please go donate. They're amazing, doing incredible stuff in Stamford. And we're really glad that we've got them here.
Very, very glad. So yes, please dig deep if you can and you are able to. And we hope to see you very soon at our next production.
Yeah, which we are very excited to announce is July 13th to 16th at the Undercroft in Peterborough. We are going to be doing The Secret Lives of Henry and Alice by David Tristram. Please come along. We'll have all the details on our social media channels very, very soon. So.
I'll be there.
Yes.
In the audience.
Well, you say that now.
You never know. But thank you everyone for coming, watching and joining in, and for all your lovely comments. We are watching them on the live stream, so thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it, everyone. I'm going to awkwardly walk towards the camera as a press end.